It's time now for This Week in Rock and Roll History, brought to you by Tom Tayback. Take a moment to stroll with us down memory lane to the good old days, those rock and roll gold days.
Hi, everybody. Tom Tayback here. Sit back and let me be your guide going down memory lane, taking you back to those good old days. Those rock and roll gold days of soda shops and sock hops in the gym. Let's begin this trip in 1954. The Crew Cuts reached the top 10 on the singles pop chart with Shaboom. Also this week in 1954, 19-year-old Elvis Presley has his first interview published in Memphis, just days prior to opening for Slim Whitman at Overton Park. 1955, Chuck Berry has his first hit record with Maybelline. It charts at number 1 on the R&B list and number 5 on the pop list. 1956, songwriter Mike Stoller survived the sinking of the Andrea Doria. Lucky for us, he teams up with Jerry Lieber, of course, to give us hit after hit after hit, like Hound Dog, Kansas City, Charlie Brown, Yakety Yak, Jailhouse Rock, Poison Ivy, Love Potion number 9, Stand By Me, Spanish Harlem, and many more. 1957, Jerry Lee Lewis makes his TV debut on The Steve Allen Show. The ratings reaction was so good he was quickly booked for 2 more appearances. It was on this show that Jerry Lee created his patented move of kicking the piano stool across the stage and pounding out notes on the piano with the heel of his foot. 1959, the Isley Brothers record their second single, Shout, which does not achieve good chart success. But get this, it goes on to sell over 1 million copies and ends up becoming a rock and roll classic. Their next 4 singles totally flopped, and they would not see chart success again until Twist and Shout in 1962. Yep, the same Twist and Shout the Beatles broke to number 2 in 1964. 1960, this week in rock and roll history, the Ventures introduced instrumental surf music to rock and roll when Walk Don't Run charts. It'll top out at number 2 a month later. Also this week in 1960, Elvis Presley hits the charts with It's Now or Never. It peaks at number 5, but think about the tune. It's Now or Never was adapted from the old Italian song, Oh Solo Mio. 1961, The Lion Sleeps Tonight is recorded by the Tokens. It will enter the charts in November and hit number 1 by Christmas. It was adapted from a 1939 South African hit. Now for extra credit, what does Awi Mawep mean? 1962, Sheila by Tommy Roe enters the pop charts at 93. It catches on though and rises all the way to number 1 by September. 1964, the Animals' debut single, House of the Rising Sun, hits the charts at number 16. The next week, it's riding strong at number 3. 7 days later, yep, it's at number 1. 1965, Bob Dylan, backed by the Paul Butterfield Blues Band, shocked the Newport Folk Festival audience with his new electric sound. Of course, we now know that this was a pivotal moment in rock and roll history, but at the time, the crowd actually booed him off the stage after 3 songs.
If this is your kind of music, you'll love my rock and roll showcase, featuring trivia and stories about the rock and roll stars along with their charted hit singles at Podomatic.com or on YouTube. Podomatic.com or YouTube. Just search Tom Tayback. That's Tayback. Rock and roll is here to stay, baby.